Underdog Daily with Badge Bros, Jon and Nez hanging out. Black and Yellow Dog app, platform of the people, Underdog Fantasy. We got a fun Thursday night PALOOZA out here. Our first three-gamer of the year. Three-gamer, something we haven't dove into yet. Distinctly different than the two-gamers, if I'm being honest, with the primetime PALOOZA stuff. But I got to start the show. I just gave Nez the heads up. I was like, yo, I'm going TED Talk to start it off. I'm going soapbox. And then he's like, dude, please, no, come on, man. I have no idea what you're going to say right now. And I was like, I don't care. It's our show. We can do whatever we want kind of deal. Forgive me if this take is wrong. I do not care. I want the chubby catcher with a mustache who hit 60 nukes and willed his team to a divisional win for the first time in 25 years to be the MVP. I don't care, Nez. I don't care. Take your WRC plus, shove it up your ass. Take your 100 extra points of ISO and whatever. I don't care. I want the everyday hero with the fat ass who might hit 63 nukes in the next 4 games to be my MVP.
Great work on that. No, I had a feeling that's where you were going. No, I agree. I think he's the MVP. I think he kind of has to be the MVP. This is just, you got to reward this kind of season. I think, like this isn't as egregious as I think a lot of people are making it out to be.
Yeah, and I think like the people are going to make the Bobby Witt comp last year where it's like Bobby Witt had such an amazing, actually I haven't heard anyone make that comp yet, but
I had someone make that comp to me.
You had someone say it already? Yeah. Like,
yeah, and I was like, but like Judge had one of the best seasons of all time,
right?
last year. Like that is that there's a difference. There's a difference.
I think if it was Judge's season last year versus Raleigh's this year, then maybe it's like, oh, you just have to give it to Judge because he was.
It would be Judge.
It would, yeah. Judge. You like, yeah. I don't know, and like maybe the catcher stuff's overblown, but like, dude, my knees still hurt, and I caught for like 5 years when I was 16. So like. I think there's some truth to it, man.
We weren't going on one knee back then,
That's true.
Now these guys are all soft.
Yeah, that is true. Time's done changed. Yeah, I think, man, I think if there's definitely some East Coast biases for years now in like the voting metrics and that sort of thing, and that might play into it. But I think as much as it's not like a team award, I do think from the outward looking optics, the fact that he's like, if this team clinches the bye and they're the number 1 seed and they won their division, like those things matter to like the old head voters.
No, I agree. I think there's definitely like, and it should play a part of it. I mean, like the MVP has been a narrative weighted award since the dawn of man. It is what it is, man. And this is about as good as it gets for a narrative, right? Like one of the best catcher seasons. I mean, probably the best offensive catcher season of all time up there. Yeah. I mean, no disrespect to to the big rim machine and Johnny Bench, but like this is 60 home runs from a catcher,
right?
Man. Like, I don't know. I just think you reward that. But
and everybody's saying like, it's 60 from a catcher. No. It's 60 from the Platinum Glove award-winning catcher. And now his defensive metrics haven't been quite as good as last year because last year was a Platinum Glove outlier, but he's still like elite defensively, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely good defensively. Yeah, I'm not going to say he's bad by any means. He's clearly a good defender. So, yeah it's just you got to it's his award, man. And I think people know it, and you're just seeing a lot of tirades on the timeline right now, which, I mean, if you're a fan, I get it. If you're not a fan, it's like, all right, man, what skin do you have in this? What dog do you have in this fight? If you're not a fan of the Yankees here.
This is not the first 3-gamer. I thought it for sure.
No, it's not. No.
What was it? Sunday times Monday?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's not one that we cover on the show. So this is the first one we've covered on the show. That's why I was getting all jacked.
There you go.
Because I do think there is a distinct difference. Now let's pivot here, Nez. But I think there is a distinct difference between the 3-gamers and the 2-gamers when you're drafting in 4-person lobbies. Like we talked about it a little bit in the masterclass there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still feel that way?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's a lot more options to scroll in this. Obviously, there's more players to draft. It's still 4-person contest, so way more leverage to introduce here. But I kind of think that it almost gives people more opportunities to like make mistakes also. So you don't always have to be scrolling down. You can like go full chalk here. I don't think that full chalk is bad. It's way different than in the BRs, but you also have way more ways to lose.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll dive more into that. We'll talk about the macros of the slate there. I think the leverage angle is like a really important one to bring up because especially now with this being an ownership's threshold game, like this is going to be my first 3-game prime time Palooza that I'm heavily invested in. And I'm really interested to see where like quarterback 6 comes out of, right? Because like the Aaron Rodgers on this slate and the Carson Wentz on this slate are like, they're buried a little bit, right? And their projection difference is only like 2-3 fantasy points, right? And we know if no quarterback separates on this slate and they score like 2 more points than one of the ones above them, that's going to be like huge leverage at like 15% owned, 20% owned, who knows, right? It might even be lower than that because we don't have a sample size to work off.
Yeah, it really could not take much. It really it really depends, but yeah, no, it's great leverage.
Yeah. Before we get into the slate here, Nez, I had a soapbox stand. I think you got a little bit of a soapbox here. Let me hear it.
In terms of what we were talking about before the show.
Yeah, your little link I see open here.
Yeah, I was talking with our guy Nick before the show. He's telling me that hey, he ran some basketball last night. I was like, oh nice. Yeah, he's like, you will never guess whose signature shoes I wore. I was like, I bet I can. I know a lot of signature shoes. I wouldn't have got this if I named every single player in the NBA.
This is wild. Okay, so the
Just
thought
show
process
the shoes first.
Okay, you want me to show the shoes first?
Yeah. Let people see and let them. I didn't even have the signature shoes. You're gonna see it. You're gonna see it. I ruined it. I was gonna have people guess because you can see the name. It's Scoot Henderson. Scoot Henderson has a Puma sponsorship and he has his own shoe.
Oh my god, dude! This is eerily similar to DeAndre Ayton Puma's sponsorship when he came into the league, where Puma's trying to buy. They're trying to buy the dip.
Dude, it's not. DeAndre Ayton was at least like a first overall pick.
True.
Scoot Henderson? I know he was. I know he had some time in the sun, but like nowhere near the amount of hype DeAndre Ayton got. Nowhere near.
This is like the budget version of Under Armour going after Curry because they couldn't go after like the top end guys, and they're trying to buy this middle tier dip and hope he explodes kind of thing.
Yeah.
So like they're like, hey man, he was a third a couple years ago. He's only 21 years old. Like maybe he gets an expanded role this year. They're buying the dip on Scoot to like, here's your shoe. Nobody else is gonna give you a shoe. Now go ball, man. I
get where they're coming from, right? It probably didn't cost that much to lock them up, and it's like, hey, it's a probably medium risk, maybe low risk and super high reward. It's like buying someone's rookie card,
right?
And hoping they go off. I want to show the bottoms because I'm a big fan. So like I played some basketball in my day. This is a pretty good outsole. This is a very nice outsole. I really like the pattern here, the radar pattern at the midfoot with the jagged outsole throughout the rest of the shoe. That probably gives you some pretty solid grip because there's nothing worse than slipping sliding on the floor. One of the best shoes that I've had to this day were these old like team LeBrons. They weren't even signatures. They were like LeBron team shoes, but like they had like a milk crate design on the outsole, and like it didn't matter how dirty that floor was. Like my foot was planting and sticking, and that's nice. That's nice.
You could tell I was never good at hoops because every league I ever played in, I never looked at the base of my shoe. I was always just looking at the exterior, how swag they were. I was never concerned about the actual footing and grip. Like I'm tempted to go run into the closet and see what my most recent court shoes look like at the base because I have no idea.
Oh yeah, I'm ever since then I've been super picky about what the bottoms of my shoes, the outsoles look like. I got some PGs signatures. They're pretty decent.
Okay.
But like, yeah, there's nothing worse than playing on some shoes that just like can't grip the floor. You just got to throw them in the trash immediately.
Are you? I mean, like you're more culturally aware with almost anything pop culture than I am. Are you a shoe guy though? Like I don't feel like you're like I got a collection guy or like I'm keeping some fresh ones in the box waiting for like a late date. Like you don't have Clay vibes.
My like Air Jordan era like came and went. In college, I got a job at a Finish Line outlet specifically for the goal of being able to have access to the new release of like retros that would come out, and I used to get them at a discount. This happened for like 3 or 4 releases. I was able to do this, and making $60 in college because I would like immediately flip them. And so I would make like $100 per release and felt like the fucking man. Like, and then I would go on eBay and like I would literally like buy shoes and like wear them for like 2 weeks around campus, sell them on eBay, and then buy like a new pair of like used Jordans just to kind of like.
Dude, you're a certified sneakerhead. You're a sneakerhead. Then that's
yeah. That's but cool. Like not, but not anymore. Like not anymore. Now I like what I like now. Now I don't want to do the retros. I want to like have like my own lane. That happened like pretty much like out of college, and I used to play because again, dirty floors. And I'm like, man, I can't find a way to stick on this. Like when I used to work at a real job, and I couldn't like. We used to run after work, and I couldn't fucking find anything that could stick on the floor. It was so dirty. What I ended up finding out that works, which was like a great, and this is multifaceted, awesome, was like low New Balance 574s worked fantastic on this dirty ass floor because they have these like. I should get them out of the closet, but like they have just like these few little dots of grip, and so it was just like really good pressure, and it would keep me from sliding, so I could play well. They were fine to exercise, and honestly, it didn't really hurt my knees. And people think I'm like the goofiest white guy of all time, and they immediately underestimate me. And then and then that's to my advantage.
It's like the kid wearing. It's like the kid wearing the cage on the ice for hockey, but the reason he's wearing it is because he's 15 or whatever. But you're like, this kid's dust. Like he's scared to take one.
I'm sure it's a very similar vibe.
Yeah, you go right at him.
But then once they realize you're in the New Balances and you can play, that actually like makes you better than having real basketball shoes on. Because you're like, oh wow, like this guy doesn't give a fuck, and he's nice. I need to get these 574s. I have to.
That's good, man. This one had me rolling here. JGFC finish line Nez walk so no strip Nez could run. Like absolutely, that's legit.
You Eggers can't even.
Eggers used to work Nike HQ. He's got a closet full.
So he had a swoosh account. He definitely took them for all they're worth. Dirty ass shoe. You can't really tell, but these are pronounced in the middle. These are great for gripping dirty ass floors, and you look like a goofy guy, and that's to your benefit. You got to hustle the people that you play pickup with. But yeah, it's my rant.
That's good shit, dude. When I played like pickup and we used to run a lot when I was working at like a gym and stuff like that when I was younger, my whole thing was like I could beat the guys like 2 or 3 times because I love to go left, but I shoot right. But like my strong dominant hand was left. So I could get 2 quick, easy ones before anyone figured it out right off the top. Like pass off the top, kick back to me, rock step left. Everybody bites on it because they think I'm right-handed, can only go right. And then I had like 2 moves, and then I was done for the rest of the game. Like it was just like, oh, yo, Warner got his 2 off the top. All right, now he's just dishing. Like he can't go right.
I did not know you couldn't go right. That's wild.
I mean, I can go right, but it's like it's a reverse JB situation out here. Like this is Jalen, a reverse Jalen situation for sure.
That is so wild. I've never heard of anything like that.
Oh man. Oh, this is a good one. This is great from Caitlin Clark.
That's
MVP.
crazy.
Another tip to play in the khaki shorts, like the guy who rolls up at the Y with old man game khaki shorts, who's just icing, like he's 93% from the elbow, like with a hand in his face. Like that guy, we need that guy in the khaki shorts.
No, dude, come on. Just wear like and one shorts. You're gonna get the same effect, and you don't have to smell like ass. Force him right. It's over. It's over.
It was literally over. I had it's so funny. I had left and then like into the body and up left, or I had left, spin back left, go up right. And
Ooh.
once those two in the bag were gone, it was fucking over. There was no pull-up game associated with it. There was no step back to it. It was just those two.
That's awesome. Those are good moves. Those are good moves to have.
Oh man. All right, let's move in here. Oh, and the arm sleeve. Man, Colin's got a sweat tonight. Poor Colin has been sweating for like 3 days here. First place of the Primetime Palooza slate and just waiting for tonight to start.
Oh, wow.
Like, yeah, so Colin's been sweating for 3 days out here. So best of luck this evening in that one. Nez, let's should we move into the slate, dude?
I think it's time to do the show. Yeah.
People don't want. Okay, last thing to close a book on the Scoot stuff. I think these kicks, this might go against popular belief and whatever. I think these things fuck. On the sucks and fuck, I think these things fuck. Like I would actually consider wearing those. Like I think they're cool. I don't think they're for everybody. I think they're cool.
I think that they are really good for Scoot Henderson signature shoes. Not necessarily this colorway, but what they did with this, I think is like pretty impressive. I'm like, okay, like there are some boring, bad shoes out there. Like this is pretty nice for Scoot. It's bold. They didn't play it safe. I like it. I'm a fan. I'm genuinely a fan.
All right. Beautiful stuff. Nez, before we jump into the slate, one of the biggest driving factors to the slate, as I jump over to the beautiful unabated interface here, is the conversation between Ken Walker and Sharps. And what Ken Walker's ADP, he's RB3 on the slate. He's a 6 point something. But if you were drafting all morning, particular in the higher dollar contests there, like the dives and the bombs, he was falling like a rock. And I was kind of like the donk fish buying the dip a little bit here. Maybe not. Like I was just kind of like, I know he didn't have like the most effective game last time out, and the production is bolstered by the fact that he fell into the end zone twice there because of the game script and whatnot. I was the guy who was just like, I'm sitting there on the clock at like RB, flex position 2 or RB, 1 late. And I was like, I'll just take a shot on Ken Walker having an explosive play. Now we've just got the rap sheet bomb right now that Zach Charbonnet is expected to play this evening after limited practices this week and all DNPs last week. So that was a big driving force to the early ADP window. Now it's kind of going to be like time to adjust here. How are you playing that situation in particular?
I have like no Ken Walker at all. Yeah, none. Feel pretty good about it. Now I can maybe start to get there, but like it just didn't make sense. You mentioned that Charbs was limited practice. He was full. He was full all week, and then listed as questionable, and nobody adjusted. And to me, that just like didn't make any sense. So I have been fading Walker like this entire time. So now maybe I can try to get some more. I'm up to 90 Primetime Paloozas.
Nice.
And yeah, I do plan on maxing because I want this thing to fill, and if it doesn't fill, then to my benefit for maxing if there's overlay. Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna max. So maybe now it'll be interesting to see where Ken Walker goes. Like just through, I'm like 9 shares through 89, so that's like, or 90, so that's like 10%, but just well underweight.
Okay. Yeah, like I saw it one of two ways, and it was team specific to me. I thought there was a lot of merit in playing like push the wide receivers up because there's kind of like a strong top tier and then an ambiguous tier after where it's kind of playing like whack-a-mole. So I was doing like push them up and then take Q-tag Sharps as like your one-off running back in like a 1-1-3-1 build. I was doing that a couple times, but then I was also doing like the Ken Walker falls to like 14, 12 in there and eating it as like RB2 or flex kind of thing. So yeah, it's interesting, man. Like I read the Khalil Herbert signing as a bearish case for Sharps. Like just the fact that they got a short week vet like out of nowhere and they signed him. You know, maybe he's not even active tonight and maybe he's just a practice squad guy anyways, and they're just scooping depth at the position. I read it more bearish than it actually was. And then, yeah, Sharps gets the full practices. And now it looks like Sharps is tonight. So are you anticipating like a 50-50 split in that backfield? Is it going to look like week 1 again? Is it going to look like week 2 where the explosive plays come from Walker and they kind of rotate series? Like, what are you anticipating?
I think it's going to be like what we've seen just thus far, which is basically 50-50. Yeah, I don't like it. Just it significantly hurts the Walker projection, and I just don't think that he would be taken over Trey Benson if this was the case from the jump. I just can't imagine that would have held. I was my average pick on Ken Walker is like pick 11. Shout out the solver for giving me that info. And yeah, that feels correct. We'll see where he goes now, but I probably wouldn't take him in like before pick 11, even still.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's a reasonable spot to get it at. I think there's good people on both sides of this, you know, like the chat is kind of like divided on this one in a big way right now. Yeah. We'll interesting stuff here. Yeah. Definitely more bearish on the projection. Now I'd be interested to see the updated version of some ETR stuff now, if it was baked in already, or if now they'll adjust now that it's becoming more officially official. Because beforehand, the split was like 2 fantasy points between them, right? And Trey Benson was comfortably projected above them in our scoring system. So yeah, it looks like about 1.3 points between the two. Yet the discrepancy in their ADP is astronomical. If we get like 50, 60% snaps Sharps and he gets like some of the opportunities in the red zone, I mean, look out, that breaks the slate from the last round.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely has a chance to. But yeah, both these guys, I do worry about the ceiling for both of them,
Yeah. Okay, Nez, let's go a little bit of game by game and position by position. I just want to get kind of like macro game environment takes hear from you. The unabated lines right now, Seattle road favorites by 1.5. This is a 43.5 in Arizona. Then we have the London game here. Both teams traveling this week. 41 there total. And then Vikings as road favorites, even though they're both road teams here, but it's designated as a Steelers home game as a 2.5. And then that Sunday nighter that everybody's talking about, the Micah Parsons bowl out here, Dallas at home. It is the only dome, or it's the other dome game, on the slate there. 47 total in that one, highest there. And Packers as road favorites of 6.5. I was in a couple drafts with you this morning. I did not know if you were auto drafting or if you were doing multiple at a time, but it looked like you had a very bullish ranking on Jordan Love over the field. Were you aping that last game environment more than the other ones?
Yeah, I was taking them at ADP, but apparently not everybody else is doing that. I mean, I have 50%, so I'm clearly in on Jordan Love here. There's just like so many ways that this goes right for Jordan Love, where other QBs on the slate are not in great game environments. So like maybe none of those QBs get home. Jordan Love, has very high ceiling in terms of how he plays, the game and his ADOT. And the Dallas Cowboys are like one of the worst defenses in football. So I was surprised that like Jordan Love wasn't going higher. I think if Jordan Love's name was like anybody else, like if it was like a healthy Joe Burrow here, like another pocket passer with a good projection, we would see Jordan Love go like, much earlier than this, maybe like 6 or 7 or something like that. But yeah, I'm really in on Jordan Love this week. Yeah, you saw it.
Okay, well, how much of that dynamic shifts on a 2-game slate versus a 3-game slate, where the benefit of pushing the onesies in particular, but quarterback more so, is magnified by an ownership discount as well? Like, is that good? Is that better? Is that more reason to push quarterback on a slate like this? Or is it more incentive to get quarterback right because there is the opportunity there's more scores that are like more opportunities to not match it? You know what I mean? Like that was kind of like terribly phrased.
Well, I mean, I think, like, I don't think that that's wrong, but the way that I'm choosing to play it based on like the options here are to take Jordan Love, because there are 3 games on the slate as opposed to 2. And there's plenty of ways to make up at the positions that you are skipping out on, which is all of them, to take Jordan Love, because there's more players. So like there's more opportunity you can scroll down elsewhere. You can find replacement at the flex positions elsewhere. I just don't think it's like the opportunity cost is that crazy. And, on my non-Jordan Love teams though, like I am, primarily scrolling. Like I think it's like Darnold or Wentz or close to the only other 2 quarterbacks I have. Like I may have like barely any of a 4th or 5th, but yeah, for me, it's like, Love, Darnold, or Wentz here.
Okay, cool. Interesting. So you're introducing leverage by going the ownership route on one side of the equation and then going exploitative with the top end play on the other that you deem is better than everything else in the field. I think it's a really sharp way of playing any given slate agnostic to the names,
Right. Yeah. I think that to me, it felt like good process.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so too, because I think the 2 biggest like macro takeaways from the first 3-gamer, even though it's not the first 3-gamer, the first 3-gamer that we've talked about this season on the program is the value of flex is elevated in a 3-gamer because the flex options are more plentiful. So that's number 1. And then the scroll viable options are more plentiful, and double bubble introduce more leverage than on another slate because there's going to be less ownership tethered, because it's not just scrolling to 1 tight end. You could scroll to 4, or it's not just scrolling to 1, the next quarterback there. It's scrolling to 2 more than that, right?
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. A lot to think about here.
Yeah. Cool. I think that's good. Good macro there. I love that Bound rolls through after yesterday's debacle of barbecue and back to the office. It's ravioli today. Thank you. Thank you.
He's gonna be sleepy as hell after that.
Yeah. That's a heavy lunch, thick pasta, like filled pasta. Like I could see a cheeky little penne for lunch, but a ravioli, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
a little cheese.
I'd be falling asleep on stream.
It might happen anyways when you're hanging out with me.
Yeah, right.
All right, Nez, let's talk about the games, dude. Did that led you to playing that game more just because of the total and the Jordan Love spot? Like that passing game stood out to you? It's like pattern matching of like, hey, Russell Wilson just got benched and he threw for 420 yards against that team. What the fuck could Jordan Love do coming off like a get right spot here kind of deal? Like that's the mindset.
Yeah, pretty much. The spot is fantastic, and I think Jordan Love is good. To me, it just makes all the sense in the world.
Okay, cool. Definitely some injuries in the secondary tonight for the Cardinals there. Will Johnson, who we talked about a little bit yesterday, gonna miss this one. Still waiting to hear on Witherspoon on the other side of the equation there. Definitely some impactful, key names to be monitoring for pass attack there. We had Zay Jones already ruled out of this one, which, maybe makes Dortch a scrollable click, or people who are swapping off of Zay Jones in the other contest. I'd move Sharps to the top of your rank and hope it's a flex spot. And if it's not a flex spot, I'd probably be swapping to Michael Wilson for the previous contest. Just thoughts on that dynamic and kind of like WR2/3 for Cardinals?
I just don't really want any part of the Cardinals.
Okay. You think the Seahawks defense is legit? You don't want it?
Not really. No, I don't have a ton of I don't have a ton of even of just like Marv. I don't have a ton of Marv right now. Let me see how much I do have. Yeah, I'm at like 15%. An average pick of 15.8. So, letting him fall to 15 or 16, I'll pull the trigger there.
Yep.
Yeah. I can't. I think that the Seahawks like win convincingly tonight, but I don't know. I've been wrong before, and it does feel like I'm being baited and trapped here with -1.5 all across the board.
Right.
Clearly, I don't know something.
Well, we've been Arizona defense respect doors, right? Like we've talked about that defensive front being so much better now. Yeah, it's been unabated line changes like 1.5, 1. Like it's been pretty much damn near pick 'em for a long time,
Yeah, it at least opened up with Arizona -1 whenever the line first came out, and
did
kind
it?
of moved
Okay.
a couple. Yeah, at the very, very beginning. So there's that.
Okay. All right. Anything else macro there? We kind of talked about the running back situation. We talked about that. We'll go through it when we go position by position here. But anything else game environment that's standing out to you?
Steelers and Vikings is interesting because Steelers defense has been really bad.
Yep.
Vikings, get new life with Wentz and an ultimate like soft spot for Wentz to like start things off. Vikings could definitely beat the piss out of Steelers here for sure. Yeah, that one definitely has me worried as a Steelers fan.
Yeah. I thought Wentz looked serviceable, right? I mean, he was going against lowly Bengals defense there, and they had some special teams touchdowns and like that sort of thing. But I think he looked like decently serviceable. I don't want to look into the overarching metrics on Vikings, like, pass stuff that heavily because like they've been really good against the pass this year. Like they've been like third best in terms of total yardage and stuff. But they played the Falcons with, we don't know what to expect from Penix these days. And they played Jake Browning, who, threw the pick sixes and all that stuff, right? And then Caleb week 1, first week of, Ben Johnson and Caleb. And he had some success early in that ball game, but it's kind of like nothing burger. So I don't want to overread into like, I definitely still want to play a little bit of this Steelers pass game, even though they play like pretty effing slow. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like I'm worried that this Vikings defense, especially from the pass rush standpoint and the way Flores mixes up the blitzing stuff, could just get and sit in Rodgers' lap like pretty heavily. So I kind of like playing this game on the Steelers side through Warren in terms of ADPs right now.
Yeah, I like that call. I think that makes sense in terms of, what's likely to happen here, which is definitely Flores bringing the MF and heat for sure. But we saw a lot of short routes and slants for Metcalf too. So maybe some design stuff for Metcalf could make sense. Either way, I think the Steelers are likely to be playing from behind unless the defense can turn it on and then give some hell to Carson Wentz, But I don't think that's likely.
Any bro science like narratives about the travel and stuff like that, like the time change and this kind of bullshit like that, like, hey, we got 3 games on this slate. We could just fucking not waive this one. We could just not play this game because it's bad travel, it's new field conditions, it's unique environment for everyone.
Yeah, I don't think it like matters because it's both of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know who would be great more.
No, I mean like in the context of the slate, you just X this game out comparative to the other two.
You could, you certainly could. We've seen these, we've seen like London games, pop off before, but for the most part, these games have been stinkers, and I think nobody's really expecting a shootout, anyways.
Sure. Yeah. And I think it's hard to say no to Jordan Mason at like pick 3 or 4 there, or Justin Jefferson's ceiling output potential in that range as well, like just from like a raw player talent and opportunity share standpoint.
Yeah, both those guys are too good of plays to fade.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Question on Jordan Addison's return. Any like potential impacts or limitations or anything there that you'd be concerned about? He falls in a lot of rooms, man. Like getting a player of his talent level. I know it's alongside Carson Wentz, but like getting a player of his talent level when you're in the 6th round and it's against, him, Turpin or Calvin Austin, like just forgive me for taking Jordan Addison every damn time.
I have a lot of Jordan Addison, man.
Yeah.
I know that there's some talk, or at least some projected, usage concerns here.
Mm-hmm.
His receiving projection is like 40 something. I think maybe 45 now. But like Jordan Addison is like his whole thing is just like big plays and scoring touchdowns. So
Right.
yeah, I think you just play Jordan Addison with confidence, man. I'm loving the Jordan Addison ADP 19. I mean, all right.
Yeah. I mean,
I'll bet against that, or you know what I'm saying.
I felt like such a sloppy, like just clicking it over and over again because it was like, oh yeah, we're just accustomed to taking this guy in like the 5th round of BBM, and his name is so much different than these guys' names who are going like 15 rounds later in best ball season. And it's just like, oh yeah, we just haven't seen it yet. But then I also like think about the dynamic of like Carson Wentz and what this team could look like, and are they going to be run heavy because of Jordan Mason's success last week and kind of shielding Carson Wentz. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, they're gonna have to. At some point they're gonna have to actually make him play.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll really get to see.
Yeah. Anything else to say on that game environment, or can we move to the Sunday nighter?
No, let's just keep it pushing.
All right, cool. Guys, just a reminder, if you're tuning in for the first time, we got like 400 and some of us watching here. Hit the like, subscribe, notification stuff. Badge Bros on YouTube there. We're here Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, every single day, bringing you all the sports across the board. We did the full main slate preview and breakdown yesterday. So this is why we're only doing the primetime games on this one here for the Underdog slate today. The Thursday Night Football times London times Sunday Night Football slate. Nez, last game on the docket there. The Parsons Bowl, again, the highest total on the slate. We kind of talked about Packers stuff. Hayden and Josh had some really good clips going around about Matthew Golden being, fractions of inches away from potential breakout season here with multiple long passes that had just missed. And instead of being, I think Hayden said, instead of being wide receiver 80, he would be like a top 12 guy if these had just connected, because one was literally like a 90-yard bomb. One was a 60-yard bomb, like just off the fingertips. So people are really forecasting that, like, hey, it's Matthew Golden, emergence and breakout, and play it before you see it. And that's kind of reflected in the ADPs here. Most people playing the most desired play on the slate being Packers passing game. And by the sounds of it, you feel similarly.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Jacobs is my 101, but still, I just think the Packers have their way here, coming off a loss, at home, at Cleveland. Sorry, coming off a loss against the Cowboys. I mean, this is just the ultimate get right spot, and I think they're going to get super right here. The Cowboys are just atrocious, man. They like you can point at any defensive metric you want to look at, and the Cowboys are going to be at the bottom of the list. So this is a team in the Packers that we were crowning as NFC champions a week ago. And now they're in a dome against a really bad defense. And I think the one thing that you can say is, will the game be a game, or will it just, be over before it even starts? That's definitely a concern, but Dak's been playing well. No CD is a huge, huge loss, but there's a chance that Dallas can kind of do their thing against Green Bay. Not that the defense looked vulnerable by any means last week against Cleveland, but you just never know. This game means something for Dallas too, man. The Packers beat the shit out of Dallas in the playoffs. I mean, absolutely murdered them, and I guarantee you that this means something to them, on top of the fact that Micah Parsons was traded. So I think that this can be a close game. I do truly believe in that narrative and I'm counting on it because I have a ton of Jordan Love. So I think this game could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, the old Mike McCarthy revenge game narrative.
Is he employed?
Classic. No. Dude, that was like the running narrative for like years there. That was a classic. Dude, let's talk about the benefactors of no CeeDee Lamb here. Like, is it just like, oh yeah, George Pickens becomes like that 1-2 turn pick like every single time? Are we kind of like just anointing him? Is there some auxiliary pieces? I think the most obvious one is like Turpin and Tolbert kind of get like a soft boost. Does it run more through Ferg? Does that make Ferg like tight end 2 on this slate? Yeah, what are your thoughts, just macro?
I mean, I think tight end 2 is like hard for me to call. Like Ferg volume wise is tight end 2 by projected targets, but man, Kraft in this spot I just think is way more alive to score a touchdown, and that's, I'm going to take the guy that's more likely to score a touchdown pretty much every time. So I've been taking Kraft over Ferg, but I don't want a fade of Ferg with no CeeDee. He clearly stepped up and he's been pretty good all season. So yeah, I think they're going to lean on Ferg more than usual tonight.
Yeah, man, the utilization score stuff on Ferg is like pretty gnarly. Like he's literally basically tight end 1.5, tight end 2 in terms of like usage in the league right now. Like bring that one up right there. 73% of routes, 32% target per route run, like 91% catchable targets. It's all low ADOT stuff, which is kind of like to be expected, but like an 88 on the utilization report, like that's fucking legit, dude. Let's look at all tight ends in the league. It's number 3 behind Juwan Johnson and Hunter Henry right now.
Just how we all drew it up.
Yeah, man. Hashtag follow the money though, for real though. Like, they gave him that big extension. Like they weren't not going to use him kind of deal. But yeah, I mean, we were all drawing up that utilization to be by way of George Pickens in the first couple weeks here, more so than Ferg for sure. Mm-hmm. Nez, anything else to say? I mean, we'll do kind of like when we move back to Underdog, we'll kind of go like through the positions here. But anything else to say? Just like this game environment, how it could play out. Like we've talked about how ambiguous the Packers wide receiver corp's been in terms of like their utilization. Like we had Romeo Doubs as kind of like sacrificial X and playing all the snaps, and then it was like divided by like 5 guys behind him. Taking Jaden Reed out of that equation kind of helps it a little bit, but there's still like 3 or 4 other guys rotating pretty heavily. Is there reason to scroll given the team total here? What do you think?
I think Wicks can be scrolled too, for sure.
Okay.
He's basically the only scroll. Everybody else gets drafted for the Packers like pretty frequently.
Okay.
Yeah, Doubs is obviously like a fine pick as well. So yeah, I think you can do all 3. I think they're gonna see a lot of passing yards, man. I mean, this is a hell of a bounce back spot for the Packers.
Okay. Yeah. Is like something like Miles Sanders on this slate, like just like way too cute?
Yeah, I think so. Like especially if you're taking him over Zach Charbonnet, like that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I think those days are probably gone now that Sharps is probably going to have a P tag on the site and he's going to kind of like thrust up and him and Ken Walker are going to be beside each other. So, hey, thrust up. There's an old one to add to the swear jar. Forgot about that one.
Jeez. Yeah.
Yeah. The thrust up era was pretty good.
A lot of thrusting.
Yeah, Miles Sanders, 36% of snaps last week. He had 10 carries. He had 2 red zone opportunities. He had 3 red zone opportunities, which was actually more than Javonte Williams, but some of that was Gabe script dependent there. Yeah. Do you have a favorite between Tolbert and Turpin?
I think Turpin.
Yeah. I think they're just like more creative with his usage, right?
Yeah. Like that's yeah, that's really it. Would love to not have to play either, but Turpin's a good scroll to mix in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nez, let's go position by position now. Actually, one last question here. in terms of like onslaughts and all this sort of stuff, like we mirror it to the redacted showdown slates there, where we talked about the Bills game versus Miami the other night, how everybody would be playing like 5-1s and 4-2s and this sort of stuff on the heavy favorite side. Have you noticed anything in the construction of your rosters on this 3-gamer that it's like, man, I'm ending up with 3 Packers every time. I'm ending up with, 3 Packers and a bring back. I'm ending up, densely around one of the isolated games?
It looks like I am pretty even in terms of
structural builds.
Right. Let's see here. I got the most amount of minis in Seattle and Arizona.
Okay.
I've got the most team stack, it looks like, of Green Bay.
Okay.
And just as far as one-offs go, most of my one-offs are coming from Vikings and Steelers, it looks like. Yeah, in terms of two players drafted on a team, Minnesota is my highest. Green Bay's next. I have some with 4 players drafted from the Packers.
Yeah.
I have a lot of 3 players drafted from the Packers.
Yeah. That one checks out to me in a big way. Like the playing the Packers via the air, that you'd be double stacking at like a decent frequency.
Yeah, that's what I would absolutely expect to see. That's happening quite a bit.
Is there any concern that you become over concentrated in your constructions when the quarterback choices are so plentiful? And by that, I mean we have 6 to choose from. Only 4 get drafted each time out. Are you worried that you will over tether your quarterbacks to the pass catchers on a slate like this?
I mean, I guess like what's the alternative? The alternative is, does quarterback separate?
Yeah, or playing Kyler naked because he's kind of like the only rushing upside guy, which is also Kyler rushing is a little bit of a fugazi, wazi woozy, because it doesn't actually exist on paper to the extent in which we give it credence in our mind. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I generally agree with that. So far this season, though, he has rushed more than I remember. 37, 32, 38. So that's definitely more than I was that I had in my mind for Kyler, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kyler, I guess. Man, I'm trying to think about like how to, because all these guys generally should be stacked unless it's like Darnold tush push or something.
Yeah, that's so thin. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think you're right, man. I do think it is like kind of like more of a pocket passing kind of setup of a slate.
That's how it feels.
Yeah. Okay, cool, man. That's good macros. We'll jump back to unabated in a half second for the pick'em segment and jump around there, but we'll move over to Underdog before we jump into the pick'em stuff and just talk through the position by position and rip a couple drafts here. Yeah, Nez, in terms of ADP, like there's pretty stagnant, like 1, 2, 3 at the top is my experience. And then people kind of like choose their own adventure after the top 3. This top 3 can be mixed and matched, but it's usually just Josh Jacobs stays at 1-0-1. Do you agree with that kind of setup of the slate?
I've got this. I actually do. I think I might have Jordan Mason ahead of JSN.
Yeah. Just because of the depth at the wide receiver position on the slate?
Yeah, I don't. I wanted to. I definitely wanted to, but I didn't because I've been doing mostly autos to get. It's been tough for me to draft this, so I've been doing a lot of autos. So trying to even out that exposure. I think I'm at like 20% JSN. So people, I think, might be taking JSN 101 more than I was prepared to. So that's something to keep in mind.
All right, good to note. Yeah, I mean, like JSN's just been like a monster. Like while we're on the topic, man, I was watching some cut together clips. It might have been another Underdog shared one from the Underdog show stuff, the football show from Hayden and Josh. There were some insane Darnold throws in that game against the Saints. When you go back and look, man, like we were glazing and glossing over that Justin Herbert roll out left cross body throw to the end zone that saw Keenan Allen slide across the end zone and score a touchdown. Sam Darnold threw the exact effing same ball to JSN, and it just wasn't a touchdown. It was in the middle of the field, but he threw the exact same ball, and it was beautiful, man. Like, dude might ball a little bit. Dude might be a player right now.
I try to tell people, man, I didn't think that Sam Darnold was a bad pick at all. There's a lot of reasons to feel confident about the Sam Darnold pick in best ball, and they're off to a good start. And he hasn't had to do a whole lot. Hasn't really been pushed. So I'm excited to see him like get pushed and see what happens when he really needs to like step up and make more plays. Because I think he's going to perform well when asked to do that. So I'm excited about it. He's getting paid $30 million this year. So it's not he's not getting Justin Fields money. He's from last year. Like, this dude is signed to play quarterback. I'm excited about him, man. And part of the thesis was like, can he do, he has an elite receiver in JSN. Can he make him an elite receiver and just like pepper him with targets? And so far, yes, absolutely. That's all he's done. So
far, so elite. Yeah. Dude, I really hope tonight we get like some 24-20, or we get like 24-19, 18, something like this. And we don't get like the 2018 neon jersey Seahawks going to Arizona that win on a double doink field goal that's 16-12 or some bullshit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I hope we get something that's good back and forth, and not what we've grown accustomed to with NFC West divisional, like short week, shitty Arizona versus Seattle games.
I know.
Like this. I keep going back to that. I can't remember what year that game was, but there was like, 2 missed field goals in overtime of like a 12-12 game or some bullshit. Like,
we've seen some awful NFC West matchups in the past. Hopefully we can have some fun tonight. I think we can. I hope we will.
Nez, I think there's a big next tier here, and Ken Walker is kind of like the obvious faller with the Sharps news and some of the sharper drafters of this morning. And then there's the VORP conversation of like, is the value over replacement of Trey McBride enough so that we should be jamming him at 4 on this slate? Or is the strength of the tight end position, we just cited the utilization of Ferg, we cited the big ass game that Tucker Kraft had prior to the injury last week. Like, just thoughts on, where Trey McGronk, aka Trey McDust, aka Trey McBride, should go now that he found pay dirt for the first time in his life.
I definitely, I want to say definitely, but I have been fading him on this slate because I think this is such a strong tight end slate on a short contest, and I don't think the VORP here makes a ton of sense. So I've been fading him. My average pick of McBride is interesting. It's like 5.
Okay.
So I guess I must be fading him big time when I fade him, and having him at ADP when I get him. So that's interesting. So I'm not getting him at all when he's falling past ADP is what I'm seeing here.
Sure, yeah.
But because I think I'm taking Trey Benson over him like every time.
What about Pickens?
No, I don't have a lot of Pickens. I don't think.
From a structural standpoint, Nez, I know the depth of the slate is primarily at wide receiver. From a structural standpoint, I really enjoyed clicking Jefferson and Pickens right here, and then hoping that either Warren, Walker, or even sometimes Javonte or Benson fall back to you after starting wide receiver, and then you get one of the remaining tight ends in that next pick too. Like, just from a structural standpoint, from the 104, I really liked how those hand-built teams were turning out.
Yeah, definitely like a strong, like a cutoff of like projection there for Pickens. Pickens projects very strong, and it makes sense. I definitely just have some reservations on it. I'm not totally out on Pickens either. I'm at 23%, so I'm basically at the field.
Okay,
but
yeah, I think I think it's like a really strong tier that you would kind of rank out like like this kind of deal. And Ken Walker's kind of like the obvious faller with the Sharps news. I mean, who knows? Maybe Walker comes out here and plays 70% of snaps this evening, and Sharps goes back to the role. And this was all part of the hashtag plan that we talked about in ramping up Ken Walker. And now Ken Walker's fully back, and he is that 4th or 5th round value that we saw, and he has that explosive profile, right? Maybe that's range of outcomes as well this evening. But the point being, from like a draft mindset, structural standpoint, when you're drafting against projection laden players in this pool, you don't have to take them at ADP. So try and create super teams with Ken Walker or Sharps, and like not have a stance between the two.
I think that's the correct way to play right now.
Yeah. So do you like where I'm at here? Kind of like, this is kind of like the first tier is those top 3. Then it's kind of like Jefferson, Benson, McBride, Pickens as kind of a mix and match. And then you go to the 2 Steelers guys.
Yeah. Let me pull up my rankings here. I have Metcalf kind of buried.
Okay. So you like Warren more than Metcalf?
I do.
Okay. Sure. I'll fight you on that. Half PPR.
Yeah, and I do think I have been taking Javonte over him just because, that's typically where, like, if I'm taking Javonte, it's because it's the last running back available, and I don't want to be left with Sharps. But now that Sharps is for sure active, I'll be more willing to pass on Javonte and try to like get an emergency Sharps if I have to.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that I think that's a really good macro game theory element to this slate, is like you saw the stark break off of like Javonte before. Now that Sharps has been introduced to the equation, you can do some of these 1-1-3-1 builds, fill your flex early, or maybe even a 2 tight end build if you want to get creative like that, and then fill your running back slot late with Sharps if he's there, Walker if he falls, or Javonte, because, hey, the last possible player that you can get drafted left with is the 7th running back on this slate, because the other 3 teams in your lobby can only take up 6 running backs before you pick. And that 7th option that'll be left for you will either be Walker, Sharps, or Javonte. And you can do some really strong 1 running back teams with those names.
Yeah, no, it's very well said. This is like definitely one of the trickier parts, is balancing these different players of different positions with this bottom tier. And really, I think it comes down to like, where are you at structurally at that point in the draft is where I lean to, as opposed to jamming projection if I can help it.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good, bro. I think that was a pretty good synopsis of like ADP and the top ends there. I do just want to ask you like some specific player by player kind of discussions, and then we'll hop in some drafts here. Are the top 4 tight ends solidified as such here for you?
Yeah, that's basically how I have it. Okay. Sometimes I'll flip-flop Berg and Kraft, but yeah, this is how I feel.
Okay, for the audio listeners, Trey McBride, Tucker Kraft, Jake Ferguson, and then TJ Hawkinson. I saw our guy Awin ripping in some lobbies here earlier and aping into some double tight end stuff and freezing other teams out. I was fine being like the leave it for tight end guy a couple times. I do want to usually get some of the top 3 there. I haven't been overly encouraged. I know Hawkinson found the end zone last time out, but I haven't really been encouraged by the eye test, and Jordan Addison coming back just throws another wrinkle in the equation with Carson Wentz. Like, for TJ Hawkinson to score a touchdown, like, how viable is it now that Addison's out there and Mason's playing well and yada, yada? If they're only going to score like 2 passing touchdowns or something, I'd rather just bet on Ferger or Kraft in the higher game total there. Have you been scrolling to Jonnu? Have you been scrolling beyond that? Like, we saw a little bit Elijah Arroyo expansion last time out, but that was primarily in garbage time when they were up billions of points on the Saints. Is it too thin to like, hey, I want to throw a dart on AJ Barner falling in the end zone tonight, or Luke Musgrave because Tucker Kraft still isn't 100%? Anything like that for you?
No, just Jonnu. Jonnu's the farthest I'll scroll here. Okay.
Sounds good. So 5 tight end slate for you, just kind of playing the mean projection game. I do like a couple of these comments in the chat here, like here's huge tier drop off between Ferg and Hawk. Absolutely. that's reflected in the utilization scores and some of the ceiling outputs we've seen this season from the top 3 juxtaposed to the last 2. I think Jonnu has some big playability at times, and he has been getting schemed some stuff, but he's definitely sharing reps with Freiermuth more so than like TJ Hawkinson is sharing reps. He's like archetype of player in terms of snap profile is like closer to AJ Barner than it is to every down player like Jake Ferguson.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. It's definitely not like ideal to end up with Jonnu Smith, but if if I'm in a 2 tight end room and that's who I'm left with, then just hope it's right.
Right. Yeah. Okay. This interesting question in the chat. What's the GM start, i.e. the best combo at the front end of the board in which you can be obtained? I don't think anything's really off the table tonight other than JSN plus Jacobs, I think would be like the one that probably should be canceled and won't occur kind of thing. But anything else other than that probably wouldn't surprise me. I think Justin Jefferson and Trey McBride will be paired together too frequently. I think if you're able to get a JSN plus Jordan Mason, you just kind of take it. If you're able to get a Mason plus Justin Jefferson, you just kind of take it. But I see a lot of fluidity at the top tonight, Nez, and I kind of wouldn't be surprised to see any combo other than 2 of the top 3 paired together, because that kind of looks like a tier to everybody tonight.
Yeah, I think maybe some like 5th round Trey Benson from early in the contest might exist.
Okay.
That would probably be the GM, but no like first 2 players necessarily, I think is going to really pop off. It's really the GM starts would be the Trey Benson when contest dropped, I think.
Okay, cool. Our resident reigning champion right now is saying 2 of the top 3 is super doable at times. So there you go. And then he's also saying that from contest drop, as you're alluding to there, Nez, Trey Benson was, his projection hadn't fully shifted to catch up with the fact that James Conner was out, and then ADP took some time to catch up. So people have Trey Benson in their flex. Although this morning, for instance, Trey Benson did fall to me decently deep into the 3rd round. So some of those combos are still available.
Nice. Good to know.
Yeah. Nez, anything at the back end of wide receiver position by terms of the scroll the F down here? Kind of like we talked about Addison, we talked about Golden kind of being a tier here, but we haven't really talked about Seahawks wide receivers outside of JSN. Anyone at this bottom that you're like, yeah, that's the dude I want a little bit more of as like the last flex consideration or last wide receiver consideration?
Yeah, Wicks, I'm interested in. I still think we got a big Wicks game on the docket at some point. And I really like Torrey Horton, man. Torrey Horton showing out last week. Obviously had a great game, but I think he's legit. I think he's good. And there's a chance he's better than Cooper Kupp. I mean, the volume hasn't been there for him, but I mean, Torrey Horton, ton of hype out of camp, and so far has lived up to the hype. So those are great 2 things. That's great 2 things to see, especially when people are like scared to buy in and at a low ownership for Horton. If the pass volume ticks up here, I think it could be a huge benefit. Could benefit greatly. Nice,
dude. Yeah, I think he's like a buy it before you've only quasi seen it guy. I know he scored twice last week. We've seen him score 2 touchdowns now, and we saw him score the special teams touchdown. He looks the part. The coach speak coming out was Justin Jefferson-esque was the quote like this week, which might be a little over the skis or whatever, but still pretty cool to hear nonetheless. So it is kind of like a buy it before you see it and ape into the narrative of like, okay, we can all agree now Kupp is pushing by way of washed territory, and this is the emergence kind of thing. Yeah, I like that shout, dude.
Yeah, Horton's going to get those. Like you see the ADOT comparison. That's what really has me excited about Horton. He can do that downfield stuff that they're not asking Kupp to do, and you can only assume. I think that this volume will increase and he'll become more efficient.
Like it, dude. I do want to tap in one more thing with red zone opportunities there. Red zone opportunities for the Seahawks, 2 for JSN, 1 for Horton, 1 for Cup. All were from last week. No other wide receiver had an opportunity in the red zone prior to that. It had been very run heavy. That might just be some game script stuff. That might have been, the way in which they worked down there. They also scored from distance a couple times there, which can skew some of that stuff. But in those first couple weeks, it looks like Sharps had 6 opportunities in the first 2 games, and Ken Walker only had 3. Then Ken Walker, of course, last week without Sharps had all 4 there. Elijah Arroyo had a look in the end zone, but yeah, I mean, nothing really to dive into here. I was just kind of curious if Cooper Kupp had like a shit ton of looks or something like that we weren't catching up on.
Nope, not really.
Yeah. All right, dude. I think that's a really good synopsis of game environment and really good synopsis of the position by position. I say we rip a couple drafts and then we build out a couple unabated pick'ems and call it a show.
Yeah. Got to get the pick'ems out. Got some good ones. We're gonna cook on the pick'ems because I got some things I like.
All right, I like where your head's at. A lot of people in the community talking this morning about being enjoyers of that Horton one, which kind of goes hand in hand with what you were just saying there, Nez. Like they're kind of like in the higher on the receiving yards there. I haven't ran it through the S words at the unabated yet, but we'll see.
Yeah, we love Horton over here.
Okay, cool. Respect it. We roll the 103 here, Nez. Pretty safe to assume in a 4 red badge with some friends and family here, Noah, Chris, and Respooked, aka Riley Taylor, that methinks it's going to go Jacobs, then JSN, and we're going to have the Mason decision there. Is Mason like just mentally a tier break for you?
No, I think Jefferson can be that top 4 can all be you can interchange.
Okay.
Like anybody in that top 4.
Yep. Sounds good. If you guys missed yesterday's show, at the front end of the show, we talked about the solver and the new additions and new amendments they made to the tool. Go back and watch that first 10 minutes. It's incredible, guys. It's unbelievable. All right, we got Jordan Mason up here. We got Justin Jefferson. We could get creative. What do you like?
Do you want to do Jefferson?
Sure, let's do it. Solver likes it. Let's click it. See what happens.
Yeah, I think if we expect Respook to go McBride, then we can take we could take a running back potentially here, or push even further. Okay.
All right, so we get Mason and McGronk go off on the end there. I think we're kind of out on the Ken Walker stuff now based on the new projection. Trey Benson would probably be the guy for me here. Yeah, it looks like Solver likes Jaylen Warren. They got a nice projection on Jaylen Warren. What do you like?
Maybe so. Like, do you think we can get one of these running backs to come back now that I'm
sure?
Thinking
if you want to take
it?
Pickens, you like Pickens?
Yeah. I think we should try this.
Okay. Yeah. No, I've messed around with this start. Because even if all the running backs go to Chris and Noah, only 3 can be selected because one of them has always taken Jacobs. So one of those 3, like, what's the projection in terms of like VORP difference at the running back position? If like the nut low situation right now is Benson goes, Warren goes, and Javonte goes, and then you're left with a player. If they don't all go, you build a pretty strongly projecting team, in my estimation. Like we get Warren to come all the way back, and it's kind of like the dream.
Yeah, this is what we were planning on. This is what we were really hoping for. Fingers crossed, and we got it.
Yeah, and like if Respooked on the end like decides to go, double tight end or get goofy with a quarterback, you're really gonna like your flex scorer between Metcalf and Javonte because it's like a tier break. If he doesn't, we take the next highest projecting tight end and push quarterback, right? That's what I was saying at the top of the show there, that I really like that 1-2 wide receiver start because of the way it opens up your builds.
It really does. Yeah. You do kind of have to, like, we got a little lucky there that we got Warren to come back to us, but when you do, it's just like, yeah, that's what you do it for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't take Warren because even though Nez tries to tell me he's good, I think he stinks. That's great. This is an interesting decision because the guy at the end, Chris can't take a running back, but he can take a tight end. The other guy can only take one running back, but can't take a tight end there. So like it would lead me to want to take Javonte here, but if you want Kraft, we could do that too.
I think I prefer Kraft.
All right. Sounds good. There's a non-zero chance that Noah at the end also doesn't like Javonte. So, he's setting up, some stacking stuff with Green Bay and maybe goes with some wide receivers. Instead, he goes the chalk route with Javonte and Golden. Sam Darnold goes there. So we got 2 stacking quarterbacks left for us, and the flex is just kind of up to us now. My mindset is usually to take Jordan Addison here and then scroll for quarterback, or we could just take Sharbs.
I'm cool with either.
All right, let's take Sharbs then. I haven't done a ton of Sharbs with these 2 running back builds. I think it's fine, man. If he plays 40% of snaps tonight and falls into the end zone, he could be the flex contributor. Yeah. Do you have a preference between Dak stacked with George Pickens or Carson Wentz with Justin Jefferson?
I think I prefer Dak on this team.
Okay.
If the plan was to go Wentz, I probably would have preferred Addison and doubled it.
Okay. Yeah, good point. That's an interesting structural debate because I think the field would agree with that mindset, which means combinatorially, is it not as good then? So who knows? Like I'm really intrigued to see what the ownership thresholds come out on Carson Wentz in particular this evening.
Yeah, like do you think Wentz is doubled more than he singled?
I don't know. I don't know. What do you think Wentz is drafted at as QB5?
30%.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like in that 30, I was going to say 38 was going to be my number. So then of those 38% of teams, how many times is he double stacked? Like I'd venture to guess 10 to 12%. So he's skinny stacked more. Because what's the archetype of drafter who's going to scroll for Carson Wentz? It's usually someone who's trying to set up Carson Wentz, right? Which would then imply that they're probably trying to score more points than just a one player, right? So maybe my number's bad. Maybe it is more double stacks. It's very interesting, man.
I know. Not that I think that it makes him a bad play to double.
No, not at all. No.
But yeah, I do think there's a chance that he's doubled more than he's single stacked.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's just so easy to do JJ Addison and Wentz. That's so true. That's exactly what Swish is saying. Yeah. 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 Warren TD regression game. Let's get it. Herzig was throwing out the Horton Yards stuff. So was Davis this morning. I saw Davis doing it. Let's rip one more of those and then a couple pick'ems and call it. Maybe even a cheeky dog bowl. Don't tempt me with a good time. Oh man, Neds, it's fall, man. It's fall. I'm not gonna lie. Last night on the course, sun's down by 7:30. Unbelievable stuff out there. What are we doing?
Is that good? Is that good?
8 o'clock. It's stone dark. No, it's bad, man. That means it's fall.
I kind of like fall as the season.
I like fall too, but I like fall as a season. You're right. I do like fall, and I like elements of fall. I love baseball in the postseason. I love football season. I love all that stuff about fall. I love that hockey and basketball are starting. I love that I get to play hockey and stuff, but I do love me some golf in the evenings, man. I do like that sun staying up till 9 o'clock so you can sneak in a cheeky 9.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. I definitely become way more into fall as I've grown older and way more of a homebody. I kind of enjoy when the sun goes down earlier, it's kind of permission to shut down your day earlier, and then you can just kind of you can pack it in much sooner. Okay. Yeah.
I got you. Josh Jacobs is your 101 today.
Yeah, I could go JSN, but I think Josh Jacobs makes the most sense.
Yeah, if I was gonna go JSN and like do the fuck around, find out kind of thing, I think doing it in a room with 3 Badgers, with guys who have won contests on the site, with a dog bowl qualifier, 2 dog bowl qualifiers and stuff, like doing it in this kind of room where I know I'm not going to give up a super team feels like a better room to try it in, you know?
Right. Yeah. This is a little too sharp, but will there ever be a softer room for the rest of the day? Who knows?
Right. Yeah. The sickos are out in waves, man. Every draft I was in this morning, fucking A-Win's just right beside me.
Yeah, we need more participation out here. What are we at for the primetime blues? Is it 50% right now?
I'll check in a half second here.
47.
Nez, we got this decision here. Another bullish Warren projection there. You've been taking Jordan Love at ADP. I'm not sure I love it with Josh Jacobs. Only ever 1 receiving touchdown in his career. Is Warren the pick here? DK Metcalf? Who do you like?
I think I prefer Metcalf.
Okay. Just like getting an elite wide receiver given the composition of starting with a running back. Do you want to do another running back here? Do you want to do Jordan Love and then pick off some back stacks? Do you like Kraft or Ferg? What do you think?
I think Warren or Love. However you want to play it. We can. I think Love is fine with Jacobs, but if you want to jam Warren, that's fine too.
Okay, let's do the Love play here and see what it looks like to take Love like at or around ADP, like some of your auto drafts were doing, and like some of the people in the chat are suggesting they don't want to do. I will say that I don't love pairing Love with Jacobs, but you know, rising tide lifts all ships. If they score 3 touchdowns, 2 are via the air and 1's via the ground, and the other 2 games play to total, they can obviously both get home in the same game environment. Or Jacobs is simply the highest scoring running back on the slate with 13 points, and nobody else at the running back position separates. They definitely, they definitely can play that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think that to think that can't work is not good. We see it happen all the time.
We lose out on all of the tight ends there. It makes me kind of want to jam these next 2 and then see what comes back at the running back position or at the tight end position. But I'll hear you out.
I think you just go top 2 as well.
Yeah, it does feel like let's do Golden first, and then the debate is, can Sharps outscore Marv Harrison?
I think if you want to take Sharps, you just take Hawkinson and hope Sharps falls back.
Okay, let's take Marv.
Okay.
You think that's how you'd play that? That's interesting because only one more so neither of the 2 middle guys can take running back or tight end. I'd take Sharps first because I think Chris is more likely to fill his flex with Sharps than he is with another tight end.
I just see a lot of 2 tight end teams go, but that's a good point, right? All 3 of those guys have tight ends, and Sharps versus Hawk. Sharps makes sense. Okay.
Like, I think matters.
I'll take the L on that.
I think it matters in the context of the room there, Nez, where this was 2-1 and 2-1, which means both their flexes were filled. If those guys' flexes weren't filled, then I agree with you. Like, don't push the tight end because Hawk projects that much better than Jonnu, especially on a team where we already have Metcalf and we don't have the quarterback. But if you want to scroll, we can scroll here as well.
Let's see here.
Because like we could do Hawk, which is, you know, kind of unique by ADP, but might be replicated. You could do Jonnu tethered to DK, which a little bit of correlation, but slightly negative. Or you could scroll the F down to like Luke Musgrave scores the touchdown.
Try Musgrave.
Oh, I think I'm gonna fucking miss it. All right, let's do it.
That's gonna be like that would be super leverage if it's just Musgrave. He's been on the field. It's not like he's a 0.
And I mean, you got to get a little gal brain in trying to win a contest where like only 30 players are being drafted and there's 14,000 entries, right? Like consistently being drafted kind of deal. Like the player pool is so small. Like there's a non-zero chance that like Tucker Kraft is more banged up than he let on and he splits a little bit of snaps. Or there's a non-zero chance that Tucker Kraft re-aggravates the injury that sounded bad in practice, a week and a half ago, right? Like these are non-zero football outcomes. We don't want to play for injury-based outcomes, but like in terms of getting unique in this contest, like it's definitely an angle that's not like, oh, you just lit it on fire.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it's that bad.
Right. The other thing is, I don't think Fitzpatrick's in the player pool. He's not, which is interesting because he scored last week and he's not in the player pool. So like introducing leverage via the Green Bay stack can only happen via one other tight end play.
Yeah.
Like we're not playing like whack-a-mole, like where somebody else does it. Anyways, that's just a player pool observation. Fun shit, guys. These are some really good games. Get in here. It's a big primetime Palooza. It's bigger than we've had yet. We got that 12.5 up top, 120K prize pool, 14K entrance. We also got the dive. We got the single entry, and we got the bomb version there. I got a couple I got a couple bombs left to get in there. I was gonna say Dubai when I was reading Dublin, like for some reason. I actually thought that game was in London. I kept saying London. It's in Ireland. I'm an idiot. So there you go.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be fun. I haven't had the Steelers play an early international game before, so this should be very fun to read all the timeline, just shitting on my favorite team in real time.
What's that? 7 a.m. start for you guys?
8:30.
Oh, 8:30. That's not bad at all. No. That's good. Yeah, 6:30 West Coast. I'll be up for the second quarter. Actually, that's a good reminder to everybody there that, hey, your swap rankings for this slate, if anything funky happens, that there is going to be that early-ass kickoff time. What is that? 9:30 on the East Coast, 8:30 in Central Time Zone, and 6:30 a.m. on Sunday morning. You have to set your swap rankings prior. And that pertains to if somebody's ruled out in the Sunday night game and it happens between Thursday night finishing, Sunday night starting, the swaps will take place in that early window there. So make sure you guys have rankings set. Was that clear and obvious, Des?
Not really. You can still adjust your rankings in between then. It's just like you can only swap to that Sunday night game if anything takes place after Dublin.
Right. I'm saying if something takes place after Thursday, before Dublin, but pertains to the late game, it'll swap in that window.
Got it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah. Okay.
Always a kickoff of whatever game is on the slate, the next game.
Yeah, exactly. The swaps take place at the kickoff of the next game if they get ruled out prior to. Now, most rule outs happen with that 90-minute buffer window when inactives are submitted, but just also have to share. All right, Nez, pick'em, lobby, hunting. I'm going to go back to unabated here and F around with the pick'em tool here for a half second. But you said you had some stuff cooking on the back burner that you were interested. Kind of going to focus. We could focus on the slate, or we could focus just on this evening's game. Your pick.
Let's do the game.
Okay, cool. Give me 1 second to X out a bunch of games and leagues. Okay, you start here with what you were interested in.
Can't see your screen if you are attempting to share.
I'm on the pick'em stuff. I'm not sharing the unabated stuff yet. I want you to go from your heart.
Ken Walker, lower fantasy points.
Okay. Ken Walker, fantasy points, 12-5, lower. Nez is anticipating split backfield. Nez, I think you're going to like the number one edge, courtesy of the unabated platform here. Bring that one up. Sharps higher on the rushing yards might pair very well with this.
Yeah, I think it definitely correlates, and I don't think you're going to get hit with a dock or anything. So, yeah, no, that makes sense.
Perfecto, amigo. Anything from the Arizona side to then add to that? Trey Benson, lower attempts, but the edge isn't as great. Dima Carter, lower rushing yards. Anything else we got to add to Arizona? Kyler higher.
I think Kyler rushing yards.
Kyler rushing yards on the
higher, yeah.
All right. Surpassed it in all 3 games thus far. A nice little 6.5x to kick us off. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
okay. I was waiting for the confirmation before I.
I thought it was understood. Yeah. Sorry. No, this is the Sunday night core for sure.
All right. Cool. Thursday night special. All right. Lower on the Ken Walker fantasy points, higher on the Sharbs rushing yards, higher on the Kyler Murray running back and forth all the time here. Captain James rolling through, lower on the Dortch stuff. Okay. I'm in on that. That's a good one. Slide time. Yes, guys, keep a look on mobile here. I admittedly already used this one. 75% boost in your lobbies, up to $50 on the site right now.
Yeah, good shot. I need to use that.
Yeah, check on mobile if you're not seeing it on desktop. Okay, so we should start with the Dortch one. I like that idea.
Okay. What was that one?
Just lowers in general, but pick your poison. I don't know if Captain James has a direction for us, but just Dortch lowers
take
in
lower
general.
Receiving yards.
Lower receiving yards?
Yeah.
Okay. Let the boys cook. This is probably where your boy just needs to use the search function.
Evergreen.
Lower on the receiving yards. Love to see it. It is not Short King Summer Thursday night.
We got to play Torrey Horton receiving yards higher.
Okay. You like the receiving yards more than receptions and stuff? Anything volume based?
I'm
not trying to sway you. I'm genuinely just asking.
No, I like your receiving yards. 26.5 is. I think they're both the same thing. If you want to get the extra boost with 2.5 receptions, you can. Maybe let's do that because we're getting that much more of a multiplier. It's not insignificant.
Okay.
1.13 is that's a pretty big deal.
Okay. About it, dude.
Good.
Ooh, this is interesting.
Good to point out.
Interesting wrinkle from Sanders in the chat here, dude. We are trying to play Greg Dortch lower at 15.5. Longest reception is lower at 11.5.
Yeah, I think either one works. Let's do longest reception.
Okay. I think we could do this. Yeah, we could do this twice with the Dortch lowers.
For sure.
Yeah, that's kind of fun, man. Good shouts in the chat on Dortch lowers and Dortch lowers 2 ways. Those feel fun.
Yeah. Yeah,
man,
I like those.
You're getting a little bit of plus money on the 1.5 receptions lower too.
Yeah, I think I'd stick with the reception, the longest reception.
Longest reception, yeah. Okay, cool. Let's cook. Run that as just a little 2-man game. A little pick and roll. Greg Dortch lower on the longest reception, higher for Torrey Horton on the receptions. The Torrey Horton stuff, depending what projection model you put into the unabated stuff, when I was messing around earlier with Blitz and ETR and all this different stuff, or just using the market-based projections, they were all spitting out different answers for Torrey Horton. I don't think anyone knows how to project Torrey Horton tonight.
No, they don't. They're scared. They're absolutely scared.
Yeah.
I've got something for us to do.
Okay.
Let's do the play it before we've seen it. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And I've got some options here for you. I got 4 options. You can limit it or you can do all 4. Let's start with Michael Wilson higher, 23.5 receiving yards.
Okay.
This is yet to eclipse 11 receiving yards.
Okay, this is the assumption of rational coaching in terms of expanded role because of Nose Jones. We're attributing some of that to Michael Wilson opposed to Greg Dortch this evening. That's the thought process.
Yeah, and more so the theme is just like taking hires on players who have never hit these marks before.
Okay.
Cooper Kupp to score a touchdown.
Oh my goodness. We're cooking now. Let's get it.
Trey Benson to score a touchdown.
This is truly play it before you've seen it. I love this.
None of this has happened yet.
Yeah.
And then the last one is Trey McBride, higher 6.5 receptions.
Okay. All very conceivable.
None of this has happened yet.
All right. Let's do it. Smaller unit size for the 17X. Share that one with the chat. For the audio listeners playing at home, Michael Wilson higher on the receiving yards, Cooper Kupp higher on the touchdown, Trey Benson higher on the rushing and receiving touchdown, and then Trey McDust, a.k.a. Trey McGronk, a.k.a. Trey McBride, 6.5 receptions. That was a slop it up. Yes, AZ Cards is right. That was a slop it up. This had me rolling. Miles saying the P words are scared of greatness.
We might have to add P words to the lexicon. Thank you, Miles, for that.
Oh, Miles, that's good, dude. Oh man.
Nice.
The Seahawks as a franchise love to give up divisional downfield balls.
Analysis.
Hashtag analysis. That's my quant, baby. That's my quant.
I love it.
Historical 40-plus yarders against the Seahawks dating back to 1996 on Thursday night games when played indoors.
Very sticky stats.
Very sticky. Oh, shoot. That was funny. Ooh. Captain James, JSN longer, over, higher. That's fun. Okay, let's cook that one. Okay. Where he's had this longest reception every time. We could slide that too. He said it was longer than 40 every time. You can slide that to 2-1. But if we want to play like more conservative than that and just like play it what it is with a little bit of a price tag, play it at like 2.9. But that's interesting there that he's had 40 or greater in every game this far. That's a good stat. That's fun.
All right.
Let's play it more conservative and then play that other Greg Dortch he suggested lower alongside it.
Okay.
Receiving yards this time instead of the longest.
Yeah, I think any lower makes sense, mostly for yardage for our guy Dortch.
The Dorcher Chamber. Wrong sport. Hopefully he's in the Dorcher Chamber.
That's right.
Tonight.
Yeah, not us.
Not us. All right. A little 4.37x for the fam right there. Cooked up by Captain James in the chat. Love to see it. The sharpest of the shop, Sharon, alongside us.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you for the assist.
Yeah. There we go. Coach Nez is in Florida right now.
He is. He's in he's down there with some peoples, and they got pick'ems down there. So yeah, I'm sure he's been blasting off while he's been day drinking all week.
Couple pina coladas at tea time and a pick'em sounds like an afternoon for the fellows.
Pina colada.
I don't know. That seems kind of Florida-y, does it not? A couple Mai Tais?
It is very Jimmy Buffett coded, but we're men, John. We don't drink coconut drinks. We're men.
All right, Nez, anything else that's in there? Bryce wants this dart slide. We're gonna slide the main slate tomorrow.
Yeah,
don't
check
worry,
us out
guys.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, this is Thursday night. This is what we're playing within. We're playing within the confines right now. Jacob wants to know what the PA gambling rules are. No pick'ems in PA.
No pick'ems in PA. Not even champions. Maybe one day. They have legal books over there, so that kind of puts a limit on what they can do, I believe.
Okay, sounds good. AZ Cards living up to his name and going down the rabbit hole of that 1.5 Trey McGronk touchdowns and raising the stakes on the Michael Wilson one. That's a slide there. That's a slide and a half.
Jeez, that's gonna be like a 5 million X.
Still can't forgive the Christmas Day pick'em of last year on Trey McBride in the red zone. 3 opportunities. Oh my gosh.
We got screwed.
People don't forget, man. People don't forget. Anything else there, Nez? There isn't anything when I'm messing around with the stuff at Unabated that's showing like crazy edge right now. Zach Charbonnet, it seems to be like the biggest in terms of projection versus rushing yards, but that's going to come down to how healthy he is and what the backfield split is this evening. And we used it already. Sorry, losing my voice here. I'm running out of juice. Yeah, I think that's a good place to tie a bow on it, Nez. We ripped a bunch of drafts. We talked about the nuances of the slate. Keep it a nice, tidy hour and a half right now. Back tomorrow to cook up a whole bunch more. 2 p.m. Tomorrow's later because of Pete. 3 p.m. Eastern tomorrow or 2:30?
3 p.m.
3 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, off and on the clock with Pete Overzet right here on the Badge Bros YouTube channel. If you guys happen to be on the X machine, hop on over to the Badge Bros YouTube. We're out here every day talking every slate, applicable knowledge for both the pick'ems and the game theory stuff across multiple platforms, but we reside primarily on Underdog, where we are doing all of our picks and all of our drafting. Anything else for the people before we close this bad boy out, Nathaniel?
No, good luck, everybody. And get in these lobbies. There's a lot of room left in this PTP, and I want to keep playing big PTPs. So we need everybody. It's a group effort here to keep Numi employed and to keep these contests over 100K. So I got a few more drafts left to do. I'm gonna be in there. 50% full right now. Could use you guys' help.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'll be in the streets. I will definitely get the remainder of my dives, the bombs, and at least 50 in the main contest this evening. I think it's a really fun slate. Our first Thursday night times international times Sunday night. On your way out the door, hit the like, subscribe, notification, all that fun stuff. Back tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern with the great Pete Overzet for Off and On the Clock, doing the main slate breakdown. Tomorrow, everybody's favorite time of the show, the end. Peace. Much love to Unabated.